Hi, I'm Anaz Jaffer and I'm the head of the undergraduate services at the Red Pen. I'm really excited that so many of our students this application cycle have already been admitted to some very prestigious colleges, to name a few: UPenn, Yale, NYU, Northwestern, and several more. I'm super excited that I'm going to be in conversation with Alina here today, who has been admitted to Yale. So, Alina, tell us a little bit about your experience with the Red Pen.
My change to the Red Pen has been immensely positive. I started off in the 11th grade, just at the beginning of the 11th grade, and I started with my profile building consultant. And I think just the beginning of the process, starting to build my profile exactly for what I wanted to envision it, I think that was extremely positive. And then moving into even undergraduate counseling, starting to find institutions that not only had the brand and the prestige, but were also just a good fit for me. Finding what a good fit for me would be through conversations with my consultant was extremely helpful, and I think that's what eventually led to me building a great college list that I could eventually apply to.
Amazing. I'm so glad to hear that. Alina, you were one of those students who actually started the application process a lot earlier. I believe you started when you were in the 10th grade. Did you join us then?
Yeah, just at the beginning of the 11th grade while I was choosing subjects.
So you had enough time to work on your
Yes.
profile.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the advantages of actually starting the process early and getting a head start.
I think it's immensely helpful because the US especially looks at your profile over the last 4 years through high school. So I think starting early in the 11th grade itself gave me time not only to work on the actual application process, but to also build an application that I was proud of and that represented me authentically. So I think starting just before the 11th grade, helped me choose subjects that were not only academically rigorous, but were also interesting, which the Red Pen helped me with as well. And B, once I started the 11th grade, managing not only my academics, but also just other opportunities that I took throughout the 11th grade to build a strong application, which I think was very helpful because it gave me a lot to talk about while I actually started the application process.
Did you really feel that your consultant helped you hone your skills and your strengths and work on personal projects, passion projects that you really felt involved in?
Definitely. So there was a point when I just had this crazy idea and I spoke to my profile building consultant, and she was like just talking me through it, giving me ideas. She looked through my entire website that we built. She was giving me ideas for the Instagram account. So definitely just bouncing ideas off her was extremely helpful. And she was also talking to me about different things that could make the project better and take it to the next level. So definitely just the engagement and the investment that I had from the Red Pen was very helpful into making each thing that I did that much better.
Super.
Yeah.
Alina, I know that you spend a lot of time on your essays, and a lot of your 11th grade and senior year went in kind of perfecting your common application essay. And I remember speaking with your consultant, and you all were all trying to put your ideas and thoughts together, and there were a lot of reworks and edits going back and forth. Tell me a little bit about how you finally managed to get to that perfect common application essay and putting your best foot forward.
I think when I initially started, the idea that I had was just to put myself on paper. That's kind of what I thought the Common App should look like. So I think the first version was it was a little messy in terms of not very well structured. But I think after more conversations with my consultant, it became more about streamlining what I wanted to show about myself, showing an experience of growth, showing an experience that really put me forth in the most authentic way possible. And I think because I had started that early, I think I started April of my 11th grade, it gave me the time to try out a few different versions, test the waters, see what I really liked and what I wanted to show about myself. And yeah, I think then over the next 4 months, it became just about perfecting that one story. And I think that was very helpful because the Common App goes to every college.
Yeah.
It's that one story that every college gets to see about you. So it's definitely the essay I worked on the longest. And because it was the first real college essay that I started working on, I think it just paved the way and it kind of gave me a structure as to how introspection in college essays work.
Yeah.
So because that essay was worked on so much, it kind of just gave me a broad structure as to which college essays and kind of how the other supplemental essays should look.
Yeah, your common application essay is actually your voice, right? Your
Yeah.
true authentic self,
Exactly.
because the colleges are never going to get to meet you, right?
Yeah.
They can only learn about Alina, who she really is, what are some of the values that she's going to bring to campus only through your essays. So
Exactly.
I'm so glad that you invested so much time, and she was one of those students who actually we didn't have to nudge in the process at all. Right, she was on the ball, on the go, literally chasing us down. So that's something that is completely new to us as well. Usually, it's the opposite, right, for all of us. So I'm so glad that this kind of panned out really, really well. Also, one thing that really strikes me about your whole application is that from a very sort of young age, when I was looking at your application, some of the things that you did, all reflect your interest in political science. And I've had these conversations with you in the past about how you knew from the very get-go that this is the major that you want to kind of consider, when you're going to college. Tell us a little bit about that journey and how you kind of arrived at that.
Yeah, so I think definitely for me, the why do you want to pursue this major essay was one of the easiest ones to write. It was also one of the most difficult ones to fit into that small word count because there was so much to say. But yeah, so I grew up on a research campus. So I grew up around a lot of STEM people.
Your parents,
my mom is a neuroscientist, grandparents are in medicine. So even within the family, lots of people, aunts, uncles who are in STEM. So I think that just became the default as a kid.
Right.
It became like the default option to go into science. But then early in the 9th grade, just before my 9th grade, I was selected for this international conflict resolution camp, Seeds of Peace. And I traveled all the way to Maine, and there was this little campsite in Maine where kids from all over the world, from active conflict zones, so from Israel, Palestine, India, Pakistan, countries in Africa, all over the world, kind of just met. And it was a 3-week experience where we just spent time with each other. And I think through that experience where cultural barriers just kind of broke between us. For me, when I came back, I was like, there's no way I can do anything else with my life. Like, this is what I want to dedicate my life to. And since then, it's just been about kind of getting a better academic understanding of the field, building my understanding of it through subjects in school, through external opportunities. So yeah, I think it was that one experience that kind of just opened my eyes to this world beyond the world of science.
Right.
And ever since that happened, I think there was just no other way my life could have gone. And that's what the last 4 years have been.
I'm so proud of you. It's always so amazing to hear from students that are so motivated and so focused and ready to kind of push their boundaries, right? So amazing. One thing that I'd like to hear from you is, was there a particular reason why you decided to join the Red Pen?
Yeah, so I think when I started the process, I definitely thought that just having somebody who could help me with getting different opportunities to build my application, then finally also build a good college list is very important. And I think the Red Pen, what initially attracted me to them, I had a few friends who had also started with the Red Pen, was that they really value the individual student and don't treat you as a large cohort and kind of give generalized advice. So I think the personalized attention that I had heard many of my friends get was what initially attracted me. And also that entire I think the first person I spoke to told me it's best fit over brand. So while we do want to get you into prestigious university, we want to find universities for you that just give you, that are just the best fit for you. And that's exactly what I wanted. Because I was like, while it is important to get into that prestigious university, I need to spend 4 years there. So it has to be a good fit for what I want to do. And
as a company, we truly believe that you need to be happy. It's 4 years of your life. You really don't want to be stuck in an institution that isn't the right fit or doesn't really kind of resonate with your values. So I'm so glad that kind of process worked out really
100%.
well. Another thing that I'm curious to hear from you is, the Red Pen, we kind of have every student work with a consultant and a content specialist. And, there's obviously all of us in the back kind of working collaboratively. Did you, through the process, kind of get a feel that there was a little village working on your application as well?
Oh, 1000%. I think while my weekly interactions were with my personal consultant, there were many times where different people would pop in and just have conversations. If I had a question that my personal consultant wanted me to talk to somebody else about, there would be Zoom calls, all of that. But I think even with my essays, while they first went through one round of correction and comments from my consultant, there were always, I think, different names that I saw on that document giving me comments with new ideas, all of that. So I definitely felt like there were a lot of people invested in that one application, with building my college list, essays, through the way. I think I never felt like I was talking to one person. It really felt like this entire organization was invested in my application.
I totally remember your essays and everyone looking collaboratively at those essays and giving their opinions, even Kim and other team members. So it's truly something that's etched in my memory as well. Another thing that I would like to hear from you is, how did you kind of actually arrive at that perfect college list, your dream, target and safety colleges? How did that pan out for you?
So I think, again, what the Red Pen gave me that really helped was that college research template, to look at several colleges. They were giving me suggestions, all of that. So I think just getting that college research template was very important. So I spent, I think, the summer of my 11th grade just filling that in, looking at close to 30-40 schools that I thought were interesting, that were good for my major. that I liked their location. So just these different factors, and did a lot of research on them. And then eventually, I think it was just through many conversations with the team in general. I think so. Those conversations where it was building the college list were with more people. The team in general kind of pitched in. Everybody had different ideas. But yeah, I think finally it was just narrowing down schools that not only were academically strong and were good for my academic interests, but also had a lot of other factors with, I mean, the size of the university, location, just the general feel. Talking to I think ex-students that Red Pen has had was also helpful. My consultant put me in touch with students she's had before, their experience there. So all of that, I think, eventually led me to that perfect list of 15 schools that I would actually want to go to for the next 4 years.
Also, Alina, I have to say that you were totally invested in this college research process, right? We can give students the name of colleges, we can tell them why that is a perfect fit, what is good about that program, what is great about the location, connectivity, university life. But until the student actually gets into, the critical understanding of what the university has to offer, does their own research, it's only then you know that this is the right place for me, right? So I'm so glad that you put the time and effort right from the 11th grade into getting a better understanding of some of these great institutions that are out there for you to explore. With that also, I'd really like to kind of get a feel of how you actually felt when you saw that email pop up in the middle of the night which said you've been admitted.
I think that
we were also excited and waiting. I know the whole team was like, what's happening with Alina? What's happening with Alina? So I'd really like to hear from you.
It was a surreal feeling. I think it was completely unexpected.
Everyone from the family waiting around you?
Yeah, it was like, so I heard back at some ungodly, I think it was 3:30 in the morning. And it was so I was waking up, in the middle of the night, opening my laptop with family around me. And it was just 3:30, that status update came. And it was when I reloaded it and opened it, I think I was very much I tried to not have very high expectations because I was.
We all did. We all had very high expectations.
And I think just actually that day I had a call with my personal consultant and I was discussing some colleges I wanted to apply to, regular decision, and she was like, why don't you take a few days, sleep on it, think about it, because she knew I was hearing back that night. And yeah, when I actually pressed the status update, I was very much expecting, expecting, whatever would come off it. And there was this video that popped up.
You're super modest.
It said, welcome to the class of 2027. I think that was just an unreal experience.
Wow.
And the next morning when I just told actually within minutes, I just messaged and I was like, I heard back and I've gotten in. And the next day, my counselor just told me, this is why I told you to sleep on the regular decision colleges. I was so sure.
I remember our Slack channels were buzzing, everyone was clapping, we had celebratory emojis all over, so we were really excited. And one thing also that, on another note, that really actually impressed me about Alina was the fact that once she got admitted to Yale, it wasn't all about herself. She was also kind of thinking about her friends and her peers who had actually applied to some of these selective colleges, and we got a call from Alina saying, should I actually withdraw from these selective colleges because I want to give my friends a chance to be admitted. And I just thought that was just so thoughtful. You don't really have many 18-year-olds, 17-year-olds, having that kind of a thought process. So it really touched my heart. And I'm so proud of you, and so is everyone at the Red Pen. Thank you for being part of our journey and letting us be a part of your little success story.
Absolutely. Such a big part of this.
Yeah. Thank you so much, and we wish you all the very, very best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.